pretty close up. YouTube keeps switching things around. It's been troublesome. It's been frustrating. They now, if you want to film instead of vertical, if you want to film horizontal, they no longer have it as a verbal option. You actually have to find an image that you click, and it's no longer in the list before you go live in the editing. So I'm really sorry about this, folks. Sorry for starting up the show late, much later than expected, but tonight is going to be a good night. We're going to be talking about things are going to turn right around. Sorry for the tardiness, but things will turn around because we've got a lot of news to cover. We got Ford Maverick facts, fiction, and don't be fooled. And that's just for not just for the Ford Maverick, but for the Ford Bronco as well. We'll actually talk about upcoming models, actual changes to models that we love that are actually going to occur, because YouTube my frustration with YouTube isn't just about getting this live started and how they every 2 to 3 months they completely change the entire setup, even remove some buttons, remove some phrases, and put them as little icons in completely different spots. Like if I want to film in this mode right here, so that really threw me off, took me for a run, not so fun. But there's other issues I have with YouTube. For example, it's been frustrating. You haven't seen me for a month in lives, but I've been, putting out videos. So let us know in the comments if you like the real world videos more so than the lives. But I've been doing more real world videos because I've been kind of frustrated with the lives. Not with you guys. You guys are a fantastic community, and I'm very fortunate to have you all. I've been frustrated with YouTube in regards to fact checking. So we'll be talking about that in the Don't Be Fooled section of tonight's show, because, well, YouTube will allow you to say just about any lie, fabrication that you want in regards to the auto world. YouTube just doesn't care if you sit around waiting for a vehicle that will never get built, think it's been an actual promise from Ford or Toyota or GMC, Mitsubishi, Cadillac, Audi, Mercedes, BM, whatever manufacturer you absolutely love. Well, think how frustrating it is if you wait around for that model, it never comes into existence, then you blame the manufacturer and say, you know what, I'll never buy a Ford again. I'll never buy a GMC or a Corvette, a Chevrolet, an Audi, a BMW, a Lexus. I love Lexus, Toyota. Pretty good, really reliable, but whatever your fancy in the automobile world is, you might get completely thrown off because YouTube, it's as if they almost encourage this. And actually they do encourage it. We'll be talking about that. I'll be showing you the video tonight, but you go to some YouTube videos, we'll be talking about clean tech tonight. They talk about 5 new models coming to Ford, and it's pretty much all lies. It's all, I don't know, they're not getting it from any actual sources. It's not even, one is on the Bronco. They've got one rumor that could occur on the Bronco, and we'll talk about that. So we'll go through all the truth and untruth, essentially the lies that YouTube allows to be there. But I haven't been out doing these lives for a couple of reasons. One has been a major frustration because I got essentially warned that all my videos would get deleted if I continue to do the horrible things I was doing. For example, I played a clip of something that the Surgeon General of Florida said. I played what he said and just said, what's important is that we can have conversations, both sides of the fence, have conversations so that we can all learn more. We can learn, what database is Group A coming from, what database is Group B using. Fill in the blanks, fill in the data that each group is missing so that both groups can come out wiser, smarter, better informed, and that we can all make better decisions. That's all I said. And I played a clip, and it wasn't for plagiarism or copyright. I played the clip and I got dinged because it went against some sort of all-important agenda that you can't, have a conversation about. Mind you, automobile world, say all the crap you want, mislead, fool people, have people completely frustrated with a brand because they thought something to be true when it was never announced by the brand. So 5 new models being declared by Clean Tech. It pops right up when you do a Google search. A lot of people are going to be taking this as fact, a couple 100,000 people. And it's just mostly not going to happen. Really not going to happen. So we're going to have a huge don't be fooled situation. I'm worked up. I'm frustrated. but I'm still loving the community, and I'm really fortunate to have you all, and that's why I've been putting out more real-world videos with the Bronco, with the Shelby GT350 that we bought for the channel. Loving that. This is a beast. This has absolutely a race engine. It's completely different from well, the two Porsche 911s that we have. We have the 1999, the red one. We have the black 2000. So drop a comment. Do you think it's worth it? Do you want more content? If you want more content like... So flat plane, crank, it's a race engine, it's a race transmission, manual, and now pretty much all the race transmissions are actually, you know, dual clutch automatic. High-tech automatic stuff that shifts faster, but these Tremec transmissions, the 10 speeds from Ford, shift 0.5 seconds faster than if you're, you know, the world's best pilot, clutching through the gears faster than anyone else on the planet. Still a 0.5 difference from 0 to 60 miles per hour. So that's the same speed difference for the Porsche 911. So Ford, believe you me, whether it's the 10-speed G-Trag or the 10-speed the 10-speed from Ford on the automatics, they shift really quickly, like 911 quick, because the manuals, whether it's the Tremec or the 6-speed G-Trag manual, it's a loss of 0.5 seconds. And I'm sorry for a little bit of lighting in the background in the screen here. I'll get rid of that and get rid of that. Sorry for that. All taken care of. But yeah, catch those videos and let us know in the comments. We will get to the official live, and we're just a warm-up band here for Tim Bart's at Long MacArthur Ford. Speaking of which, part of the reason there's been less lives as well is because, well, we've been kind of all over the country. We've been all over the place. So we had a wonderful dinner. We met up with Tim Bart's, Sarah. We met up with Ridgeview, his awesome wife, his daughter. We unfortunately didn't see their dog Betty. Would have loved to have seen Betty, but we didn't bring the pooches either this time. That was back when we were in Florida. We all met up with the pooches. But if you have a chance to go through the White Mountains, absolutely found it. Jack Evans, thank you so much. Wayne, great to see you. Ridgeview, as always, I've got the best moderator on YouTube, and I've got, I think, the best community, because you guys are still sticking with me, even though I took a month off, and it wasn't just for vacation. It's mostly out of, I got to a point where I was just really frustrated with how YouTube will offer videos that are just lie after lie, but that I get threatened that over the, we've here in the community, we've produced together over 1,000 videos, about 1,050 videos, and get a warning that they'll all get deleted if I continue doing the horrible stuff of playing what a top scientist, you know, it's a political appointment, but you know, you have to be a doctor to be the Surgeon General of Florida, and boom. And I had noticed after I got that, views on the channel went way down. The quality was as bad as usual. Another reason why I'm lucky to have you guys. You bear with the quality, you bear with the backwards hats when it's real hot. I'm trying not to sweat on camera. It's a scorcher out here, but we've also been producing some real world videos, so we'll have a little chit chat coming out. We'll do a little video here on the beautiful 911, which we're not getting. We'll get to the channel content, the stuff you're really probably waiting for that real deal, actual insider Ford information. So we'll be covering all the important Ford information for the Ford Maverick, the Ford Bronco, the Ford Ranchero, the Ford Capri. We'll be talking about also the Ford Taurus, the Lincoln Continental, the Ford Bronco truck. So we'll get to that in a moment, I promise. But let me just finish up. We'll start the live off with, you know, welcoming everyone into the show. A little bit of a new format here. Got stuff to get off my chest to explain why I haven't done a live in a month. But we'll have a little bit of content coming out on the 911. We had some good Bronco content coming out, and we have more. Some that just came out, some more to come. And we'll also have some content, more Shelby GT350 content. Loving that race engine. Just want to point out here, I'm not sure if you can see it on screen, very well hidden. Porsche owners are smart about this, and I highly recommend it for all your Fords and GMs, Corvettes, whatever you get, even if it's, you know, an XL Maverick. get this line right here as paint protector in front of your wheels. If all Mustangs need this, the Shelby GT350 is just sandblasted with stone chips all through this area. So I filled in a few, had help filling in a few by the person who did the wrap. They did a great job. Thank you so much for the excellent price. If you're in Quebec, contact me, because I'll hook you up with a guy near the Sherbrooke area, Montreal area. It's worth the drive. He does a great job, great price. But I added the plastic clear wrap. So as you can see, the only thing, even when it's dirty, you'll see a bit more of the line, but on the Mustang right now, it's completely clean on that Shelby, and you just don't see it. So that's my big recommendation to save you probably what will end up being, if I wanted it to be perfect, put about $2,500 into a paint job to redo, because you can't just do the section, you end up doing the whole both back wing, I'm sorry, I'm stuck in French, these wheel wells. Now, this was one beautiful Porsche 911. I'm not getting the Porsche 911 because, one, I'd have been pushed into a 2025 and there'll be no manual for the 2025 Porsche 911. The manual is slower, but it's not always about speed, it's about fun. And the manuals are just really fantastic from either Porsche on the 911 or from Mustang, but no longer from the Porsche 911. So a little frustration there, and it allowed me to keep the Bronco and get the Shelby GT350. So hopefully many of you will check out that video and encourage that big purchase the channel made. So this was when we went out for dinner. Marie always seems to be making silly faces wherever we go. We both have a bit of a tendency to have our silly face vacation collection. Not just silly faces because of eyes closed, but actual deliberate silly faces. And it looks like our daughter will be following in our footsteps. So Porsche 911 video coming out. If you have a chance to drive one, we did. We drove it on a drag strip and on a racetrack. They handle phenomenally, and the sound now is incredible, but not nearly as good as the Shelby GT350. So if you're looking for a used vehicle, I highly recommend the Shelby. You won't be disappointed. If you're looking for an amazing get you around vehicle, Motor Trend talked about how the Bronco wasn't, great driving in the city or on the highway, but that, it's great in the sand and off-road. I don't agree with them whatsoever. We've driven from Canada all the way down to Florida, all over Florida and back. We've done 60 hours of driving within a 3-week period. In the Bronco, essentially drove for 23 hours straight in it. It is unbelievably comfortable, and it's fantastic even at 85 or 90 miles per hour. Top speed, I can tell you personally, pre-child, pre-baby, pre-dad, it's between 103 and 105 miles per hour. And if you do have your vehicle, another little tip is get a ceramic detailer that can be used on, plastic and rubbers, and do your wheels, because it'll help the brake dust accumulate less and spray off more easily. Right now, big challenge getting the brake dust out of the inner wheel wells and through all the little nooks and cranny of that Shelby GT350. I've invested about 3 hours and it's still not done. It would have been a lot quicker if I'd have taken the wheels right off the vehicle, but I don't have the proper jack equipment and I don't want to risk the vehicle falling off the jack. So debunking all the hate on the, even Motor Trend took the time to hate on the Bronco, a little light hate, saying, it's a very good vehicle, but one of its cons apparently is that the Jeep still exists. They did say that its road manners were better than the Jeep, but that the road manners weren't, all that great, that they weren't all that good. So, but where it shines, it makes up for that in off-road. No, if you don't ever off-road, this is still a fantastic vehicle, and there are ways to get good miles per gallon out of it, which I'm going to be doing a video on soon. So we have been on vacation, other than being really frustrated with YouTube's policies and being essentially, I feel, quite censored. This is what we've been up to. To the last question in the live, if you could just pop that up again, because I didn't have a chance to read it. Yes, Long MacArthur. Wow, Long MacArthur will do a video on the 911 Targa. Fantastic. Well, I really look forward to that. That's fantastic. So we've been on vacation. We had a chance to meet up with Tim Bart's, Ridgeview, and family. We headed out to the zoo. The zoo was pretty fantastic. Brought the whole family. We saw the There's the Africa section, Australia, the Australian continent. We had Asia, China, Japan. So we got to see the zebras. You can see the daughter was having a good amount of fun. And, you know, some of this was over the weekend, so it made just planning out the whole live a little more difficult, and news was a little slow. There wasn't anything that really stood out. But these rhinos, lions, and tigers that we saw, red panda, they really did stick out. So if you have a chance, support your local economy. Head to a zoo near you. Layla was mostly focused on me, so it turns out that I was the most interesting animal, at least for her, at the zoo. We didn't, but Marie, definitely. I think the big kids had more fun than anyone else. And of course, it was unbelievably hot. I'm sorry I'm a little moist at the moment, but we had, it's a little hot here. We're having a bit of a heat wave, so we spent a lot of time in the pool. So that was just fantastic. Taught Layla here, taught our daughter how to put her feet through those little holes here and basically become a duck. So through her floating device, you can swim around the pool. She's 7 months old and is already, with assistance, getting around in the pool and using that as a little boat. So channel news, we brought the Porsche 911 to the mechanic. Always a good idea, take photos. You bring a vehicle to a mechanic, take photos when it arrives. That way, if they say, well, it's like that when we got it, or we don't know where that came from, you can say, well, here are my photos right when I dropped it off. So that is fantastic protection that could and probably will at some point save you thousands or hundreds of dollars. And like I said, the MR2, thank you, Toyota. Never ceases to amaze me how all the Toyotas I have had have been expensive with multiple breaks and repairs required. But that should be running soon, hopefully. With a little bit of prayer and a little prayer and a lot of hope, that's going to be running. So we did a mini putt up in North Conway. If you have a chance, head to the Wild Rose restaurant. Stay at the Stonehurst Inn. They great service, treated us really well. Marie at one point, Marie or I had a hole in one. So if ever we're in the area, hopefully we'll have a chance to play mini putt with some of you. And we did our first test with Layla on a road trip, and we did it with a small community from the car channel here, the car community. But we hope, thinking first week of August, if things continue to go well with traveling with the daughter, hoping to go up Mount Washington and maybe do a little mini putt afterwards with people from the community. So Mount Washington, look it up and see if you're available the first week of August. If we can make that work, we'll have it posted to the community. Now, big family photo, of course, the Bronco, part of the family in the background. We'll have a lot of Bronco talk tonight. So that's all the side news that we need to talk about here. Ford Bronco, really quick, got a price cut. Check it out, Bronco Raptor, sorry, but the Bronco Raptor essentially got a price, but all Broncos got a price cut with these better interest rates that they're offering us. The F-150s costing less, so it gets frustrating when you have videos that have hundreds of thousands of views and it's just not anywhere near anything factual. If you want factual information, check out Ford Authority, Brett Foote, great articles, or check out Tim Bart's at Long MacArthur Ford or Ford Video Guy, his personal channel, or come check us out here at Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. Now, all of you have been so very kind to listen to Long MacArthur Ford, Tim Bart, Sarah, thank you so much. So glad to hear that you enjoyed it. For us, it was, well, we felt like we were having dinner with movie stars and the world's YouTube's best moderator. So we feel really blessed and fortunate, and we to be with all of you. And, you know, on the subject of having a child, we feel really blessed. It's unfortunate how a lot of the media seems to promote having a career as the most important thing by far, to just focus on your career and forget having a family. And that's at least from our experience, absolutely ridiculous. Nothing beats a family. So, and if you don't have family, you can have friends that are like family. So thank you for, that's just the pre-show. We'll get into all the news. We'll do them as, because we'll be setting them up as mini episodes. So you'll see, we'll get through the material pretty quickly. New format. hopefully more interesting, more enjoyable for all of you. And with the quicker format and getting the rants out of the way in the beginning, I can make sure I don't get deleted by YouTube for sharing something that's just, from a scientist or a doctor. So that's what's been going on there. We're about to talk about all sorts of Ford news. I just want to start with, the sort of the basis of this show. We'll start with the frustrating lies. So let's get this show started, folks. Ford Maverick, Ford Bronco, facts, fiction, and don't be fooled. All the way from quality, reliability, and what is actually to come. So there's been a lot of untruth, a lot of essentially misinformation, or really straight up lies. I might call them lies. I don't know if we can call them lies because maybe it's not intentional, but you really need to watch out what you're looking at on the internet, because on the internet there's at least a couple 100,000 people who are going to be thinking that there's an upcoming Ford Thunderbird, Ford Ranchero, a Ford Taurus, a Lincoln Continental, a Ford Bronco truck, and an electric Maverick, that these things are all coming for 2025. And that's just not the case. So we've got highlight of the week, frustration of the week for me, and more. It's been going on for a couple of years now. Channels like Clean Tech can get hundreds of thousands of views, and the information just isn't fact-checked. However, YouTube continues to push it out, to offer it as videos. More and more people see it. And when enough people see it, guess what? It ends up being at the top of the list in a Google search. So even Google seems to be thinking that there'll be, the models that I mentioned, a Bronco truck that's coming up, that there's a Taurus coming up. There is a Taurus built in China for the Chinese market. We'll get into what models actually will come to production, but none of these are coming for 2025 unless there's, maybe there's one that very small chance could come for 2025, but we'll look at that in just a moment. So let's get to some things that are being said and believed on the channel on YouTube here. So kind of bit of a protection of the car community here, because when we boil it down to it, is there harm with this? Yes, there is harm, because people will wait for models that will never get fabricated ever, or maybe in like 7 to 10 years. And they'll get tired of waiting, and they'll get frustrated with the brand, and they'll say, I'm never buying a GM again. I'm never buying a Ford. They never bought, but I'll never wait for a Ford. I'll never wait for a GM, and they'll miss out on some of the great opportunities that are out there right now. And we'll talk about some of those great opportunities and what's actually going to be going down with the Ford Maverick, the Ford Bronco, and actual new models coming out within the next year or two. So let's jump right into it, put the pedal to the metal on this misinformation, lies, whatever you want to call it.
In the highly competitive landscape of pickup trucks, the Ford Bronco pickup truck will face off against well-established rivals. The Jeep Gladiator, with its off-road heritage and strong brand following, presents a formidable competitor. Toyota's Tacoma, known for its reliability and off-road capability, is another major player in this segment. Additionally, newer entrants like the Rivian R1T are raising the bar with advanced electric powertrains and high-tech features. Ford's challenge will be to differentiate the Bronco pickup truck by leveraging its iconic name.
So great point brought out in the live chat. Thank you, Long MacArthur Ford, as well as the live chat right after that. You can watch the live chat even if you're watching this as a cut-up mini episode. So yes, any video that has AI, if someone's not willing to show their face, you can probably call BS on that. So bad science. Bullshit. YouTube, please, I swore. Don't remove my 1,000 videos. So, complete crap. If it's AI, it's probably going to be complete crap, but it's very tempting to believe this because, they followed the beautiful parameter of two truths and a lie. And when you have two truths before or sandwiched around a lie, it makes the lie seem very plausible. So yeah, they talked about, yeah, the Jeep, it has had some great sales. It's been a very popular vehicle. Then they talk about the Toyota Tundra or Tacoma. And you'll see throughout these AI videos, the ones that are done well, and unfortunately the ones that YouTube go, hey, you should check this out. People like this video. It's unfortunate that the shocking, non-true information ends up being what gets pushed out there. Kind of reminds me of the last 3 years, but instead of society and globally, we're talking about what's going down on YouTube. So Anthony, thank you for pointing that out. Thank you for, please add information here in the live chat. Add your opinion, your feelings, whether it's the live chat or the comment section. We need those comments. I want to read them, and it'll benefit the community.
Delivering superior off-road performance and incorporating innovative features that appeal to modern consumers. The return of the Lincoln Continental.
So the Ford Bronco pickup truck, it's been rumored for quite a while, and it's never gone beyond the rumor phase. Of all the models we'll see, it's the one that's probably the most likely to potentially happen. But it'd be very, very, very surprising for Ford to just drop this out and actually have it available as a 2025. I'd say there's maybe a 2% chance. So, and it's definitely something that could happen further down the road. Like if it got announced this summer, then maybe it could be available the fastest 1 year's time. Actually available at dealers a year and a half. That'd be like the absolute fastest timeline. But normally we'd be probably more looking at some very serious rumors. Ford's CEO or someone high up at Ford talking about like, hey, yeah, this is something that interests us. We're really looking into this. They'd put out feelers before, you know, they'd invest a little, see like, look at, is this doable? How much would it cost? How many do we think we can sell? So they'll do some research. And then if they're like, hey, this is feasible, then they'll tease. But the tease is really a bit of a test. It's a teaser test. They do this in politics with the media. The media is owned, obviously, by certain wealthy people. And they have their own interests. And they have influence in politics. So often what could happen in the future gets kind of teased and tested through the media to see people's reactions. So this is what's going on. That's what would go on with Jack Evans. Thank you. So that is what's going on with companies. They won't just very, very rarely just out of the blue be like, unless it's something they have to do. They had to do a Ford F-150 Lightning. So the Lightning came out pretty much out of the blue and is like, here's your electric truck. Aren't you surprised and impressed? But normally there's feelers that get put out. There's research that gets put out. And then that means that there's rumors and there's teasing and testing of information.
Continental marks a significant moment for Lincoln as it strives to reclaim its place in the luxury market. Competing with the likes of Cadillac, Mercedes-Benz, and BMW requires a product that not only meets but exceeds the expectations of discerning luxury car buyers. The new Continental will need to offer a
So yeah, again, 2 truths, 3 truths, and a lie. Yes, those are the competitors. Yes, those are good sellers. Yes, it'll have a challenge. It'll have to be very luxurious, but guess what? Here's a photo of, you know, the Continental, the 2018 Continental I sold a few weeks ago. Like, come on, this is, and it's tough because if you're not an expert in the field, you go, hey, yeah, that looks cool. Okay, I could consider a Continental. I think I'm going to wait for a Continental, and I was going to maybe buy that new Nautilus, or I was going to maybe buy that new plug-in Corsair, but hey, I better wait for a Continental. Plus, if it's coming out in a year or two, maybe it'll be all electric. So people wait, people get frustrated, people get burnt. And I don't like to see people get burnt. And I especially don't like to see YouTube allowing things to become very popular, but then, and their lies, and having no issue with that. No, like, not suggesting this to people or removing it. But then, you know, in my situation, I play a clip, 10 seconds on something that the Surgeon General of Florida says. And my warning is, you know, like, hey, keep that up, do that again, get 3 strikes, and we're deleting all 1,050 of your videos.
compelling combination of performance, comfort, and cutting-edge technology. With the right execution, it can help Lincoln re-establish itself as a serious contender in the luxury sedan market. Lincoln's push into electrification is further exemplified by the Maverick Lightning. The electric pickup truck market is rapidly evolving with...
So here is another, gotta call, do a bit of BS busting, a don't be fooled section on this. Maverick Lightning, or an electric Maverick, probably will happen down the road. It may not carry the name Maverick, but a reasonably sized, or if you want to call it small truck, or reasonably sized truck that's all electric, either Maverick sized or Ranger sized, that may or may not carry the Maverick or Ranger name. Because remember, CEO Jim Farley mentioned that going forward, the electric vehicles wouldn't just be, rehashed. It's been said they will not be just rehashed, or essentially, current F-150 but with batteries and an electric motor, or current Ranger or Maverick, just electric motor with batteries. That they'll be their own product, that they'll, have their own platforms, their own interiors, that essentially they'll be special, unique, and have that wow factor, that new factor. So yeah, a straight up just electric Maverick, I highly, highly doubt that's going to happen. A Maverick sized electric truck, that probably will happen. But we're, again, talking 2 to 7 years down the road. We're not talking 2025, which is, the title down here is Ford CEO reveals 5 new car models for 2025 and stuns the entire car world. Maybe in another dimension, but in this dimension, bullcrap, BS.
With significant entries from both established automakers and startups. Rivian, with its R1T, has garnered much attention for its innovative design and impressive capabilities. Meanwhile, General Motors is preparing to launch the Chevrolet Silverado EV, and Tesla continues to develop its highly anticipated Cybertruck. Ford's Maverick Lightning will need to stand out by offering a competitive range, practical features, and the brand's hallmark reliability. Now,
you might think that I'm playing this video from it's from 2 years ago and I'm getting worked up about stuff from 2 years ago. But no, 131,000 views from 2 weeks ago. So this could end up with 1 million views and 1 million people that have been misled, waiting for a product that will never happen and say, you know what, I'll never buy. And the Tesla, it's happened already. Hence why you might think, is Johnny getting worked up from something from 2 years ago? No, not at all. So... again, a bunch of truths with a lie. A lie passes like a truth because it's surrounded by truth.
Doing so, it can attract a new generation of eco-conscious consumers while maintaining Ford's strong presence in the pickup truck market. The Ford Ranchero's return is an interesting move as it revives
So they're not saying maybe, they're saying its return is an interesting move. Not true, not happening, not a single actual internal insider rumor going on about this. Meaning, if it does happen, it could eventually, but we're talking 5+ years down the road. We're definitely 100% not going to see this in 2025. The Ford Bronco truck has a 2025, 1%, maybe max 2% chance, but I'm not getting enough, I'm not, hearing these insider rumors that would make me say hey, educated speculation. No, none of that. So Bronco truck, maybe 2-3 years. Ranchero, yeah, maybe 5+ years down the road, 5, 10, or 15 years down the road.
Segment that has seen renewed interest in recent years. The Hyundai Santa Cruz and Honda Ridgeline have demonstrated that there is a market for car-based pickups that offer a blend of utility and driving comfort.
Again, so true. The truths and the lies. It makes the lies just pass like more truth.
The Ranchero will need to strike the right balance between these attributes, appealing to consumers who want the practicality of a truck, has the potential to carve out.
And then I don't know what this is. They're showing us what looks like it would be, and even there has a nameplate Ford Ranchero on it. Not in our market, not in the Canada, US, not in the North American market, the USD market.
Out a niche in this growing market segment. In addition to the individual strengths of these new models, Ford's broader strategy involves leveraging its extensive dealer network, brand loyalty, and technological advancements.
You guys have been really good to me because you watch my videos, even though I don't follow the Sesame Street format. because one, it's like really time consuming, and I focus more on gathering and collecting true and real information instead of just saying a bunch of crap with pretty images. But it's also, I find the Sesame Street format treats people like idiots. It's like, here's an image every 5 seconds because we assume you can't concentrate on anything because you have an IQ of 80 or less. And maybe I have an IQ of an 80 or less because I like the flashing photos. But it's very distracting, and it makes the lies also pass more easily because you're 3/4 of your attention is on the colorful pictures that flash. I'm trying not to do this with my daughter. I'm trying to have her learn through the slow manner.
The company has been investing heavily in research and development, particularly in the areas of electrification, connectivity, and autonomous driving. These investments are expected to pay off as Ford introduces new models that incorporate the latest technologies and meet the evolving needs of consumers. For
Absolutely.
instance,
Ford will absolutely use new technologies to make sure that there's higher safety and greater desirability of its vehicles coming up. And they'll have that safety, those safety features as more and more as standard equipment. Hey, Douglas Blair, thank you so much for being in the show. Thank you for being back. We just got back from dinner as well. Yeah.
The new Ford Taurus is anticipated to feature Ford's latest driver assistance systems, including adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and automated emergency braking.
A lot of that will become standard now. The Ford Taurus is a real vehicle. This is why finally they're showing an actual vehicle that's like unknown to us. This does not mean we're getting it for 2025. We're very likely not getting it for 2025. It's made in China, as is the new Nautilus, and I'm liking the new Nautilus. So far it's looking very good, and so far it's quality. But I'd be surprised if Ford brought back a big car to our market, to the North American market. What they'll likely bring back is a small car to the North American market. And we'll get to that in the next episode of this live. If you're watching this as a mini episode, know that you'll have to, probably click here or here to catch the video on what's actually to come from Ford.
These features will not only enhance safety, but also provide a more comfortable and convenient driving experience. The Taurus will also likely come equipped with a hybrid powertrain option, offering improved fuel efficiency and
Very true. Ford CEO, whether it's internal documents or public documents, has said that there's this huge push to produce a ton of electric vehicles, and now it's been said that there will be a scale back on these electric vehicles and instead do what has been my preference from day one, hybrid, or my real preference is plug-in hybrid. And I think at a certain point you need to ignore a bit the politics and say plug-in hybrid is better for the environment. Huge all-electric vehicles with huge batteries. It's not great when it comes to charging. It's very hard on the electric network, which will cause its own environmental impact. Battery production and battery disposal has also an environmental impact. Bigger the battery, worse it is. So having a smaller battery, let's say 14 to 25 kilowatts, that makes the vehicle essentially electric for 99% of its life, but then you can actually use it on a vacation without having to pull over every few hours and charge for 40 minutes. It's, so far with current battery technology, the best solution.
Reduced emissions, which are increasingly important factors for today's car buyers. The Ford Bronco pickup truck, on the other hand, is expected to push the boundaries of off-road capability. Building on the success of the Bronco SUV, the pickup variant will likely feature advanced off-road technologies such as trail cameras, rock crawling modes, and a sophisticated four-wheel drive system. These features will make it a strong contender for off-road enthusiasts who demand performance and durability. The Ford Maverick Lightning will emphasize...
All true. Yes, it's the truth and the lies. So like the Bronco has done this, the current Bronco is doing this, and it will do this. So now the Bronco truck will do these things as well. It makes it all seem so very plausible, but it's all, I'm sorry to announce, for the moment, complete crap. The Bronco truck has much more chances of occurring, not for 2025, than anything else other than there will, yes, probably be a Ford Ranger or Ford Maverick sized electric truck that likely will not use the name Maverick or Ranger.
Practicality and eco-friendliness. As an electric vehicle, it will offer features such as regenerative braking, over-the-air software updates, and
True.
advanced connectivity options.
Absolutely,
The Ford
all true.
Ranchero, with its unique car-truck hybrid design, will likely focus on versatility and ease of use. Its unibody construction.
So again, it's the whole formula of a bunch of truths, slide in the lie, make your money, not care what this actually does to the buyers market, the car community. There's going to be ticked off people who are going to sit around and wait and not buy a current Maverick or not buy a Ford current F-150 or a Ford Ranger. And then the result is they'll wait around and then go, I can't believe Ford didn't build that. Oh, they're so awful. I'll never wait around or consider buying a Ford again. And it makes up for a bad experience for everyone, because Ford needs to continue selling vehicles for our economy's sake. Very important. And they need to have the finances to actually develop this, the new technologies, whether it's hydrogen or electric or plug-in. These changes require money. You need people buying the current models if you're going to be developing the future and for that future to actually come. And if you miss the train and you're stuck at the station because no one's buying your product because of crap, not journalism, but just after money, like a dirty politician, just willing to sell out the country to make money. That's what these videos kind of feel like a dirty politician that's willing to take any bribe, no matter what the consequences on the citizens are. It just feels like a dirty money scheme. So, hey, who knows? Let's find out if being this negative towards another channel gets you banned. But if I get banned, I normally don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but this isn't real. This is AI. We don't see anyone's face. Always good signs to know that you're being BS'd. If you don't see an actual person's face, not an AI generated face, if it's not a real person, they're not willing to put their face to it, it's probably bull crap. Don't get misled. And that goes for, a lot of these spam, fraudulent emails that we get that say like, oh, you received money, or oh, you owe money. Just click here and give off your information. No, deal with real people. It helps the economy anyways, because, well, we're going to be in a situation probably in a little while where we're a bit worried about job creation and available full-time jobs. Now, I've been off for a month. Haven't done a live in a month, but at least the last live I left you with my feedback of I'm not a financial advisor, but I think it's a good time to buy Tesla, and I'm buying Tesla. Well, it went up 47%, so hopefully some other people got to benefit from that. My next move, again, not a financial advisor, could be giving you horrible advice, but I'm just going to say that I'm really interested in how I think we're going to be forced, the Fed's going to be forced to lower interest rates. So I'm invested in TMF, and a good chunk of money, $50-some thousand in TMF. So maybe I'm going to lose $50,000. Maybe I'll double my money. Find out in the next 5-6 months, because hopefully they're going to be dropping interest rates in November. That's what I'm betting on all of this on. That 2 days after election, they'll announce finally some interest rate drops, and hopefully it's drastic to actually help change the direction of the economy, because it's like I see the economy as a big boat, and little waves don't seem like they have any effect for quite some time. But a lot of little waves over a period of time, if you don't correct for them, well, over thousands of miles, you end up thousands of miles off target. So you need to correct for those little changes. And now we've been getting, the big boat of the economy has been getting hit with a lot of waves, and it's kind of been getting ignored, a lot of little signs here and there. I think that there's going to need to be a major course correction of the boat to make sure we arrive where we need to arrive. So that's the first episode of this live. Having a little pen problems here. So we're going to be jumping into episode 2. So let's get to an article I'm really happy to share. Mostly good, a little bit of bad. So stay tuned. Please don't leave. We're going to be wrapping up the show at 8, of course, to head over to Long MacArthur Ford with Tim Bartz. But right now, just timestamp this for the moment. Episode 2, Ford Maverick quality. Great news, folks. Love to share this article. Barely any bad news with this. I've got to put my spin on it. But we've got Ford Maverick quality being ranked second. Now, you probably are thinking, well, there's only 2 in its category, so you lose, Ford Maverick. But no. Oddly, Consumer Reports looked at the quality compared to, they put it in the mid-sized truck segment. So if I'm not mistaken, the Tacoma is a mid-sized truck. The Ranger is a mid-sized truck. So really cool. Thank you very much, Ford Authority. Now that's a reliable source of information. So this article by Alexandra Purcell, hopefully I'm being respectful in saying that correctly. I'm trying, at least. That's what counts. Intention. Now, recent article, and this is great. Because, and sorry I said Consumer Reports, my error, J.D. Power 2024 U.S. Initial Quality Study is saying that the Maverick is top notch. They put it in the category Santa Cruz here. Let's see, the Santa Cruz, they got outranked by the Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz came in first for initial quality, but it got put in the mid-sized pickup truck segment. So this is fantastic. That means initial quality is now better than, the Nissan Frontier, and the mid-size truck category should also include the Tacoma, because the Tacoma is not a full-size truck. So really cool. Now, I don't like studies that base themselves on a small sample, but this is a good sample here. The 2024 J.D. Power IQS is based on responses collected from 99,144 purchases. Direct quote from Ford Authority, so you can get the full story at Ford Authority. And this was after 2024 model year vehicles after 90 days of ownership. So that just means that when people are buying their Ford Mavericks, they're not driving away with them and within the first 3 months going, oh my goodness, I've got this problem and that problem. That's not what's going on with the Ford Maverick. It's going down well. It's going down smoothly. Now, most of the issues, and I've mentioned this before, I even have this. This was a 2019 U.S. quality study, and Ford was, well, fourth. Ford was fourth. And that was great and not world changing because, well, most of the problems that people have are with infotainment, features, controls, and displays, driving assistance, interior, powertrain, seats, driving experience, climate, and unspecified. That's basically everything gets looked at, gets considered for, being not reliable, problematic, low quality. But most of the problems, J.D. Powers has said it before, Consumer Reports has hidden it further down, and many pages later in the report, most of them have to do with the infotainment or Bluetooth, the cell phone connecting with the car. I work in this industry, and I can tell you most of the time that there's an issue, it's with the cell phone itself. It hasn't been reset, turned off, and turned back on in like many, many months or ever, that there's maybe 90 or 100 pages open in the background and they don't know, so the phone is overburdened and it just can't take anymore, so it just doesn't communicate with the vehicle. It almost never happens to me that it's the actual vehicle. It has almost always been that the issue is with the phone. So the bad news is the value of, in my opinion, the value of these surveys, it's good. It's all about, how frustrated will you be with the vehicle at first. But it's a little skewed because the more technology a brand has, new technology, the more issues there's going to be. If you sell a ton of, let's say, standard Toyota RAV4s, and the standard Toyota RAV4 has like very low level, let's say, like in 2018 it had very low, many of the RAV4s in 2018 that were sold, the systems for, the Bluetooth and connecting with your phone and what it could do with your phone and Google Maps and all this, it wasn't that great. Or the standard model is just that there wasn't anything there. So the vehicle was just so standard that people wouldn't have those issues, often related to their cell phones anyways. So it helped certain companies kind of look really good on paper, but in reality, it's because you're getting less, or the majority of the vehicles that were sold within that segment were offering less. So mixed feelings. Just wanted to share that all with you. I do really like the Maverick, and I do have to conclude with some really good news. The really good news is that Ford quality overall in 2024 is a lot better. Ford was affected by, you know, the plant closures, having to have 6 feet distancing between people, and all the last minute changes that the pandemic brought. Ford had to adjust to, and quality globally went down. Manufacturing across every automobile manufacturer went down. So my general advice is I wouldn't necessarily really buy a 2020, 2021, 22, or 23 of almost any brand. A mid 23 build or a late 23 build, fine, no problem. But more so 2020, 21, and 2022, those are the models that I would avoid. At Ford, they had more issues with reliability during that time period. The production, the assembly, the manufacturing, overall, the quality went down. So I'd much rather get a brand new 2024 or a 2025 than a used 2022 at probably a much higher interest rate. So that's my big piece of advice to save you thousands if you're currently in the market shopping. So Ford Maverick quality now very good, and maybe the damage is already done. Let me know in the comments section. Have you heard a lot of negativity about Ford Maverick quality? It was affected. It was a new model coming out right during that the whole pandemic, microchip shortage, all the trouble with, you know, having to space workers out. Someone coughs or sneezes and boom, they're gone. They're out of the factory for a week or two. So everyone, including Ford, had trouble adjusting with that. It's even harder when you have a new model coming online. So I'd much prefer to buy a 2024 or 25 Maverick than get a used 2022 Maverick. Generally, you know, look at a used Bronco. You'll probably pay 9-10% interest rate on a used Bronco. And if you buy a brand new 2024 on 5 years, you've got 0.99 financing. That's incredible. That's the deal to jump on. So that would be my advice. Don't buy the 1 or 2 year old used vehicle at a higher interest rate. Get a new vehicle, whether it's Ford, Audi, BMW, Lexus, Toyota, whoever, whatever manufacturer interests you. Don't get the 1 or 2 or 3 year old model, get a new one. So that's episode 2. You can get more information because we're going to be now, if you stay tuned during the live or if you catch the video up here or right there, wherever the video gets offered, we're going to be talking about actual Ford models that are coming out for 2025. So we've previously covered 5 models that definitely aren't coming out for 2025. Now we're going to be talking about changes, new models and changes to current models that you will be excited about, that you will like, that are coming out, that, you know, we'll talk about the real deal. So we've covered the Don't Be Fooled here at Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. Let's jump into episode 3. So episode 3, don't be fooled about new Ford models. We previously talked about 5 models that got claimed, that it was the CEO that revealed them as models that will definitely come out for 2025. None of them are coming out for 2025, but we're actually going to cover what will be coming out for new models and what changes are going to be going down. So this is going to be a great episode, folks. Please let us know in the comments section what rumors you've heard. Be careful for those AI YouTube channels. Generally not going to be true, but they'll mix in truths, 2-3 truths, and then drop the lie just so that it all gets it ends up being an easy pill to be swallowed, and the best of us will be fooled. But here's the real deal. Let's talk about models that are actually coming out for Ford. So guess what? 2025, we're almost certainly not seeing a Ford Continental. No insider rumors going on about that. Ford Taurus, same, none. Unless last minute we find out that China is going to build a Lincoln Continental and ship the current Ford Taurus that exists out there. Possible, but unlikely for 2025. Electric Ford Maverick for 2025. Unbelievably improbable. Not hearing any rumors about that. Ford Ranchero, like 0% chance. And a Bronco truck, probably later on. Maybe later on. Almost certainly not for 2025. But we do have some pretty cool stuff coming up. So changes to current models. Well, we'll have the Ford Bronco Sport. That's going to have a bigger infotainment screen. We'll be talking about this right here because who knows, maybe that will turn into a bit of a model or a bit of a change for the Lightning. But let's see here. one change that you can do yourself. You can be proactive. If you don't like your Ford Maverick screen, you can actually buy a kit that'll put Sync 4 into the pickups, give you a much bigger screen. So yeah, Ford Escape screen in your Ford Maverick, and it's $2,999 USD. You can read the full article over at Ford Authority by Brett Foote. Great. You can trust what comes from Ford Authority. You can really trust what comes from Brett Foote. That's a real journalist right there, automotive journalist. So kudos to you, Tim Bartz. You can catch him at Long MacArthur Ford. Another school bus yellow alert. Tim Bartz, fantastic source of information. So this kit for $2,999 gives you a 13-point-inch unit and Sync 4. Sync 4, what is that? I'll tell you what it is. It means that so I don't have a spare phone. I don't have one of my extra phones. You can have your phone wirelessly when you have Sync 4, you have the information from your phone wirelessly, like Google Maps or Waze, pop up on the screen, and it works with Android Auto. So you'll have Android Auto, you'll have Apple Auto. Sync 3 means you have to connect with the wire for that. So Sync 4, really cool system right here, 13.2-inch screen. It's extra parts. It's parts being essentially, that would have gone, extra parts that get, sold by Ford. That's the screen. It's the Escape screen, folks. So that is an actual change you can do if you're going to be proactive and don't want to change your current Maverick. Now, another model that is actually going to be happening, it looks like, this is, what did I say earlier on in the live? I mentioned that Ford will do sort of tease and test. Well, here's a tease and test. You've got the Ford Capri EV teaser, shows a man trying to charge a coupe. But this is the very old Capri. That must be late 80s, early 90s Capri. And the date on the back, it says, "The legend is back, trying to charge with an electric cable." Trying to charge with an electric cable. That Ford Capri. I always thought it was Mercury Capri here and Ford Escort. Whatever. I'm not going to crack stones here. But the date on it is coming right up, the 10th of July. So tomorrow we'll find out if this one's true, the 2024. So we'll find out if they're going to bring back the Capri or Escort models that are, well, currently they're bringing out the Explorer EV in in Europe. We were supposed to get our version coming up, but it's now been delayed by about, I think instead of 2025, we're looking more at 2027 for the Ford Explorer, and our new Lightning instead of 2025. The new Lightning, which may even drop the F-150 name and just be, something along the lines of Lightning something, that's been delayed by a year. So we're looking at 2026. So those are actual real models. Now in Europe, 2 electric crossovers in Europe that Ford should be coming out with using the Volkswagen's MEB platform, one of which is the Ford Explorer EV. Funny, that's a vehicle that's around the size of a mid-size truck. So maybe we're looking at a new mid-size electric truck coming up within, 2 or 3 years. So that's cool. And the Ford Capri, I wouldn't be surprised. It could come back as a small truck. As a small car, not a small truck. It could come back as a small car because the CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, just recently said that, he wants to bring back the small cars. But it could also definitely do, the current trend is you take what used to be cars and you turn them into, the Maverick, for example, but the general global trend across the manufacturers of automobiles is that you bring them back as crossovers, so small SUVs. So this very much could be the Capri or Escort, could come back as a small SUV, but likely could maybe come back as a small vehicle as well. Probably about 50-50. We'll find out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that information. Now, for the Ford Maverick, we're almost certainly highly educated speculation, lots of rumors, some that I've gotten directly. Won't name my sources, but I feel very confident in saying a hybrid model, all-wheel drive, and I've known this from the way early on because it was part of the initial, the development team. They were talking as the plan was 2025, let's bring out that hybrid model. So all-wheel drive, non-plug-in, hybrid model. So just like the current model we have, but with all its, little facelifts, the changes, the bigger screen. But we're looking at an all-wheel drive model hybrid, not plug-in, folks. Later on, a plug-in, maybe in a year to 3 years after. So next year, 2025, all-wheel drive hybrid, then we're looking at maybe 26, 27, max 28 probably for that plug-in Maverick, probably with the whole new platform. When they do the whole, this is just a refresh for the Maverick, when they do the whole redesign of the Maverick, that's probably when we're going to be getting that. So what else is coming? Well, we've got the Capri. We've talked about that. Let's talk about the Ford F-150. Ford F-150 Lightning. Could drop the Lightning name, but I've got a bit of speculation, educated speculation. I'm hearing some things maybe, but I kind of feel like this is a test tease. I feel like Ford has specifically built and won the Pikes Peak hill climb. That is one of the, I've only done it in simulators, but is one of the hardest things ever to drive. Pikes Peak is very technical, it's very difficult, and the more power you have, the harder it gets. So tons of power out of this bad boy, but this very well could be the new look of the Gen 2 of the Lightning. Maybe it'll drop the F-150 name, maybe not, but they won at Pikes Peak, and I feel like they're kind of testing the style out on us. I kind of would not be surprised at all if come 2026, that essentially with less air diffusers, but the general look, and of course not lowered so much to the ground, but more like the height of the current F-150 Lightning. But I would not be surprised at all if that's essentially the front end, instead of these, whatever they are, air dams or whatever this is, would be headlights. But just the general overall shape and look, of course, not a regular cab. It would be a four-door. But the overall kind of squariness of it, the futuristic square design, probably being tested and teased here. So please drop a comment, folks. Let us know. Do you like this as your next? Would you like this? If this ends up being the next Lightning for 2026, Gen 2, maybe, who knows, could be pushed to 2027. But for 2026 or 2027 is a squared off truck style, something you want to see. I know I love the squared off trucks of the 80s, but this is looking like a mix of modern for futuristic squared off. So squared off 80s plus futuristic mixed together. Will you be happy? Let us know in the comments section. Let us know in the live chat. And also, of course, let us know in the comment section if you're watching this as a show afterwards. Now, we're just going to be wrapping this up real shortly. Let's talk about the Ford Bronco. Actual 2025 changes. Almost certainly will not have a Bronco truck for 2025. It could happen later on. But for the Bronco, let's look at my current Bronco in the meantime. Let's just get the right photo in the background. Get rid of that. By the way, I had a fantastic time. Tim Bartz and Sarah, which you can catch their show at 8 p.m. So head over to there at 8 p.m. I'm wrapping this up, so we should be there as well very shortly after. But we had a fantastic time meeting up in North Conway. We've got Ridgeview there, a good friend and fantastic moderator. You've got the whole family. I'll unblock myself here, and the Bronco. So let's just talk about the Bronco here. The new Bronco for 2025. I've got this little worry that we could lose the 2.7 liter because I'm almost positive that we're going to get a new powertrain. I've been talking about this for quite some time, that we're due for a plug-in. The Ford Bronco needs to compete with that 4xe. Ford's not going to be happy standing by and just watching a lot of sales go to the plug-in Jeep because people want to go back and forth to work all electric and then have that gas power for when you're off-roading or driving to your vacation or your cottage, whatever it may be, pulling the boat. So here's the thing. It can't be an infinite amount of powertrains to a model. There's costs associated with that. In the 2.7 liter, here's another big issue. The 2.7 liter competes with that 3 liter in the Raptor. A 2.7 liter with a bit of tuning, tune it, change the exhaust, change the air intake, and you can be pretty easily making Ford Raptor power. Well, the Ford Raptor brings in good profits. The top end models of everything, that's where the profits are for a manufacturer. It only makes sense to drop the 2.7 liter. So if you love the 2.7 liter and don't have a Bronco yet, buy one. If you have a 2021, switch it for a 2024, drop your order in. Long MacArthur Ford, Tim Bart said that if you order the black top, so far he's not seeing any delays with those, if I had understood him correctly. So that would be, I think, fantastic. Get a black painted, get the dual top, black top and soft top, so you're fully covered. Almost certainly going to see for 2025 the announcement of a 2.3 liter plug-in, and maybe a little bit of like a luxury, new models, probably new models, and maybe a bit of speculated education that there'll be a luxury model to sort of offer an alternative to Land Rover, or Jeep trying to be luxury and high-end and super expensive. Well, I think that it only makes sense that, well, of course, Bronco needs to compete with that plug-in. So there'll be a plug-in option. Plug-in powertrain off the 2.3 liter 4-cylinder turbo engine with plug-in. That'll probably replace the 2.7 liter, have similar torque. They'll leave the V6 for the Raptor, and we'll probably have a luxury model. So something that's going to be a lot more like a Land Rover, and better tops. I think we're going to have a top that looks essentially like there's no top that gets removed, that it just looks like a regular, beautiful hard top. I think we're going to see that for the 2025 model. So big choices to make here, folks. Big choices to make. Now, to wrap the show up, we'll probably see some small cars coming up for 2025 or shortly after. We've got the Puma is #1 seller in the UK. So #1 seller in the UK is the Puma. So let me show you what we'll probably have as a small car option coming soon. That's a model that could very well exist for 2025. The Ford Bronco Sport, by the way, getting a little bit of a redesign, refresh, getting a much bigger screen. So we'll talk about that more in an upcoming live. But having the return of small cars probably is going to be coming down to the North American market. They'll probably either be all electric or hybrid, plug-in hybrid. So you can expect some great cars. Ford, again, the CEO has been talking about a $30,000 USD starting price on a small electric vehicle to compete with Tesla. Again, Brett Foote, Ford Authority, check that out. Jim Farley expects a low-cost Ford EV to compete against Tesla. So that's what you can actually expect for the next year or two for High For Low. Thank you for dropping the finisher comment. Everyone, as you book out, please drop the comment finisher. We'll go see you over at Tim Bart's Long MacArthur show, because all the new model talk, current changes to current models, we'll get that going and we'll talk more in depth about it in the next live. Thank you so much, folks. Deal mine for a 2024. Welcome back. Yes, thank you so much to everyone who chit-chatted in the live chat. Love to see those chats go by. Love to see the community grow and learn from one another. We're all here to learn together. I'm here to learn from you and to give the insider information that I know. Love hanging out with you all. Thank you so much, folks. Blessed to be part of this community. We'll see you over at Long MacArthur Ford, Tim Bart's, and we'll see you here at the live, the next live we can get going. So as soon as possible, but we want to keep those real world videos continuing, and we've got quite a few to produce. So thank you, folks. Until next time, we wish you all more cars and more power. Sorry, so used to doing this show with Marie beside me. I wish you more cars and more power, and hope you get to put the pedal to the metal on a vehicle real soon without getting that speeding ticket. Take care, folks. Thank you so much, Douglas Blair. Very, very kind. For High, For Low. Thank you so much. Members and subscribers, love and appreciate the support. Peace out, everybody.